Do you think that people like her dad could have had a child?
Yes.
When we want to be healthy, we got to look at the big picture of it all. And so I always look at stress. Most people think it's just emotional though, and that's part of it. But it's also chemical, it's also physical. The biggest chemical stressor in our world today is medications. Some of the studies have actually shown that's the reason we're the sickest country in the industrialized world. And so does taking gluten out heal you? No. But it reduces stress on your body, so it has less things that's creating inflammation and less things that's stressing it. And then in return, your body will heal itself.
Do you think that if Austin and I like stick to this and like make this like a lifelong journey, do you think that we have a possibility of like changing like genealogy things, like
Oh yeah.
shifting?
Yeah, you'll not only shift generations in the head, like the way they think and see food and see life and see health, but you're going to change DNA. And they've actually shown that people that eating McDonald's changes your DNA, like the structure of your DNA mutates it. And you see that our generations are getting weaker and weaker. The more vaccines, the more chemicals, the more foods, the more medical interventions, right? The sicker the population gets. And each generation is weaker and weaker and weaker because of that. And so you can actually change DNA. It's called epigenetics. And we won't go down that road, but you can look into epigenetics. You can see your DNA responds to its environment. Right? And you'll turn genes on and off based on what you do, and that's including the foods you eat.
Will eating like vegetables that have pesticides, because I even know like some farmers that like spray pesticides on their veggies just to have the insects like stay off.
Yeah. So
what can that cause to your body though?
So I mean, think of it this way. So anything with side at the end, insecticide, pesticide, herbicide, homicide, right?
Oh.
It's killing it, right? So if it kills that bug, it may not necessarily kill you because you're a lot bigger, but it is going to cause harm. And so same thing with like preservatives. It preserves that food. So in essence, it's a chemical going into your body. Your body either has to get rid of it, but a lot of times our bodies aren't. They're building, these pesticides and chemicals build up in our system and build toxicities. Can lead to things like cancers, can cause, destroy our microbiome, the good bacteria in your gut, and just cause a lot of health issues. I always tell people nowadays you need to become your own health expert. You don't just need a doctor, you need to actually be the one informed that knows how to be healthy for yourself because that's just the world we live in. If you do what everyone else is doing, you're going to get the same results, which is right now, 1 out of 2 people getting heart disease. I think 1 out of 3 getting cancer.
I really could care less for how my health is, but it always reminds me of like my dad and how far not caring for yourself could really go.
I struggled filming this. She needed me, and she needed her dad. Losing your father and grandfather the same year to the same cancer it's not a coincidence. The hard part was knowing that it was avoidable. But knowing that it was avoidable meant that we could make a change. That there is some part that we play. This was all grass. 2 years ago? We started 2 falls ago.
This was all grass.
Yeah, Tori worked the first year and a half at a corporate job.
Wow.
And I started building everything until it was to a point where we could like...
I could quit and we could both farm full time together.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, we can look around.
Yeah.
6 synthetic fertilizers, mainly the nitrogen, will end up drying out the soil life. Like if you think about a lawn program, you have someone come and treat your lawn for a season, and you stop it next year, the lawn's going to die because it becomes dependent on the chemicals.
Yeah, like you dig in our soil and you'll find earthworms and pill bugs and you see crickets and grasshoppers. Like there's so much life.
Yeah, that grasshopper was huge.
Yeah, there's so much life out here.
Are you guys labeled USDA organic?
Nope. No. We're certified naturally grown though, which is the same thing without the bureaucracy behind it.
It's like $10,000 to get USDA certified.
What's better than a sign, USDA organic sign, is developing the actual relationship with the growers or farmers.
Okay.
And so we allow people to come here on Fridays and look at whatever they want. I put everything on YouTube too, so they can see how it's grown.
And just asking and like ask them, you know.
You can ask them how they grow it. Yeah. I mean, we're really transparent with everything because we have nothing to hide. So.
Is it true that microgreens have the same health benefits as eating broccoli, like broccoli microgreens?
Yeah.
It's actually more nutritious.
That's
because it's
and I'm
so if you think about it,
seed.
You're getting 200 plants, like the nutrients from 200 seeds instead of just one broccoli head.
I love broccoli microgreens. Have you guys gotten eggs yet? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like 7 chickens and 9 ducks and 2 geese.
Oh my gosh. Hi, look at them. They're so cute. They're like, oh my gosh. Okay. I want to pet one of them.
Yeah, they'll squat down and put their wings out if you pick them up.
They're like, no, sister. You never grab a lady like this.
I know. She's like, how dare you?
Hi. Will you? Oh my god. Hi.
Well, make sure you hold her wings in so she can't flap.
So she can't flap.
Babe, she's a baby. Oh, you like me?
I kind of like you.
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to eat chicken anymore.
These are specifically egg layers, so...
She's so sweet.
Yeah, the meat birds are more similar to what you see from a chicken house, but we also raise them on pasture, down in there.
Okay.
On the grass.
I've never been able to hold the chicken this close. Am I a chicken whisperer?
You should get some chickens.
I should get some chickens. Am I a chicken whisperer? She's like, yes, yes you are. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll get the water later. Yeah, Mama has angry.
She's like, give my baby back.
She coming after you, Tori.
I know.
Oh! She's like, I will get you. Hey, baby girl. Oh my, it got 10 times cuter.
A week old?
This is so soothing. Oh my, I love you so much. When you go the holistic route, it shows you how beautiful life is.
Our discovery led us to Yucca Yiki Farms, where Brandon Ruiz grows exotic roots, fruits, and vegetables. And it's in Uptown.
Plátano trees. Oh, it's like the gandule. These are papayas, lamb's quarters. This is yautía. These are called lereres. Cuban oregano. This is huacatay. This is a black turmeric. This is morning glory. Ñame. This is ñame or ube yam. Yes.
That is a lot.
Yeah, you want to walk around a little bit?
Yes. I'm so excited.
Here, like I was saying, we have the jamaica or this hibiscus, ginger. You can take a leaf off and eat it if you want. Traditionally, yeah.
Just break it off?
Yeah.
Just chew on it.
Chew on it.
I'm gonna chew on
and
it.
try it. Do it with you. It's good. It's just like having sorrel or jamaica. And behind us, we have some plátano trees.
Plátano.
So this is the first year of them growing, and I actually planted them kind of late in like June, and they grew really huge still. They'll at least, you know, be able to provide leaves for people making tamales, cooking anything in them. I take some of the leaves sometimes just as like decorative.
Pasteles?
Tamales, pasteles, anything. Just the same way you would use that, because it just gives it a good flavor, you know, and it's a good plate. I'm bypassing a lot. There's just so much everywhere.
Well, you can keep showing me.
I'll show you in this area. This is one of my favorite spots. Everything that's planted around here, there's some over there as well. They're all kind of in the corners of the beds. It's called comfrey. Comfrey is a very popular plant native to Europe, in different parts of Europe. And it is a pretty rough sort of feeling leaf. And what we do with it traditionally, it's also called knit bone. It's used to heal broken bones. And there's a compound called allantoin that gets into the skin that's, you know, absorbed dermally, and it goes in and helps to stimulate cell regeneration in the tissue and in the bones. So I know it's nice. Well, it's kind of spiky though. It's like abrasive, but
He was like, oh.
And at the same time, it's rich in a lot of nutrients, especially in nitrogen. It's nitrogen fixing, so it's putting nitrogen into the soil to help develop leaf and fruit growth of plants around it. So we'll chop it and just throw it on the ground as mulch, and it'll come back in like 2 weeks. It grows pretty fast.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, so medicinal use and also for farming and, you know, gardening use as well.
Why do you think it's important to do things organically other than like putting a synthetic fertilizer?
I feel there's so many reasons. I could probably go pretty in depth with it. I think it's like common sense, you know? I feel like to follow something that's intuitive, to be like, oh, we should probably just grow the food, right? Because we can see that over time, especially recently, we've come back into this phase of like organic and health and the stuff that was never really a fad. It was just how things were. In fact, most of the people who were impoverished to the point of the inability to get chemical fertilizers have been growing it that way for years, and for hundreds and hundreds of years. And a lot of people, especially indigenous folks who are growing stuff with their traditional methods, are still growing them well, but then a lot of big companies with genetically modified seeds and patented things try to come in, introduce them in the name of, you know, trying to help and give them seed to grow their crop, even though most of the environmental destruction is because of them. And then, because of that, it infiltrates into cultures. A lot of traditional seed genetics get lost. Wow. So I think it's just common sense. I feel like it's just following the traditions that have always been here. So
that's so good. Yeah. Even if you were to do all these tinctures and you were still like a stressed out, overworked person, it would like counterfeit everything you're doing health-wise.
Yeah, when I talk with people and do like consultations, someone's like, oh, like I want to do that, blah, 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 but they don't change their lifestyle. It's like, I'm just giving you a Band-Aid, you know? And every time you do what's instigating it, you're ripping it off. So I can give you that as much as you want. If I want to be a great businessman, I'll make you pay me, you know, every 2 weeks $100 for whatever herbs you want, and it's not going to get to it because you haven't stopped working at, I don't know, a radioactive waste plant or something.
Yeah.
Or you still haven't stopped working your 2 9-to-5s and like overlapping and working 24 hours a day.
Right.
It's just a matter of also changing lifestyle. So I don't have like the magic touch or, you know, this is not like the magic pill that cures all your ailments.
At the end of the day, you have to take a look back at your life.
USDA organic is important when it comes to the areas where disconnect is viable. Meaning, if you know your farmer, USDA organic stamp isn't as necessary. But when it comes to groceries, where we can't locate direct contact with the merchant, the stamp means everything. Which takes us to Fresh List Charlotte, where they are on a mission to cultivate a better food system by delivering fresh food from a local farmer to restaurants and homes throughout Charlotte. And right here is Jaden Partridge, a certified herbalist that is committed to health, where she taught me that what you put in is just as important as what you put on.
Really, like chemicals and things like bleach, just things like that, they cause a lot of irritation in the body. So like bleach specifically wreaks havoc on your lungs. I use this just because it's easy. Like all you do is dilute this in water at different levels and it gives you different types of cleaners. This can replace all-purpose cleaner, things you use on your counter, like a bathroom cleaner, so for your toilet, for your sinks, for your bathtub. When you think healthy living, you think maybe you go as far as cleaning products, but most of the time it sticks with what you eat, and that's about it. You don't realize that like a lot of these things that we put on our body are our biggest culprits for hormonal imbalance, for, you know, irritated skin and things like that, because they have so many chemicals in them and we're using them on the daily. They're getting absorbed in our skin and through our respiratory system. It's just, it throws the body off. Because herbal medicine is all holistic. You can't, it's not the same with a medicine. Like if somebody said, my stomach hurts, I can't, like, you could just give them Pepto-Bismol and be like, oh, you'll be fine. But with herbs, you can't do that because they all are going to interact with the body differently. So you have to know what's going on. A lot of times with herbs, you need to take them consistently to see improvement because they are all root cause focused. But with this one, because it's just a powerful anti-inflammatory, it's not really focusing on a root cause. It's just attacking inflammation to calm it down. It works fairly quickly.
My dad used to take, I think he used to take ibuprofen. Like, I'm talking like 6 or 7 a day. Like, why is that so detrimental?
Advil, ibuprofen, things of that nature are gonna overload your liver. They're gonna mess with, I think it's ibuprofen specifically that really messes with your stomach lining. Basically, they're just overtaxing your organs and overloading them with different compounds that aren't really necessary for the body to heal whatever your issue is that you're taking it for.
Calvin and Giselle Fleming, who own Labor of Love, with a studio that is a sensory processing environment.
Everything that you see here is nothing but a distraction. The whole goal is for you to lower down the walls so that you can get better control of you. So we have some playful ways of doing that. I may ask you to step up here.
You want me to step up here?
Yeah, step up here and have a seat. Okay, so this is psychological because most of the times we live in a world that we're always trying to make things happen. We never really let ourselves go. Here, I'm forcing you to let yourself go. We know these things. As long as you're holding on to something, no one else can put anything else into your hands. But when you let something go that you don't necessarily need, somebody else can put something else into your hands. You can grow.
So question, if people are drawn to specific inventions that you have created, what does that usually tell you?
It just tells me that that person has a lot of pinned up things that they have not released.
What does that look like when you become a patient of Labor of Love?
It's based upon the journey of that person so far. We've locked up ourselves based on our childhood, how we were raised, what we were told. Oftentimes, they've been that way for 20 years. And the word that we say is settle. They have learned to settle.
Settle with their...
They have learned just to settle. What they've lost mostly is hope.
When you don't take care of you, you don't take care of people around you and the people you love, you know? Because a happy, whole, healthy you is so beneficial, and it's such a blessing to everybody who encounters you. Because they'll get to know this is what being happy, whole, and healthy is.